Hey guys, welcome to Blue Collar Catholic, the place where we defend the true Christian religion and the American way of life. Today, I want to just give you a couple prayer alerts. Tomorrow, big news is happening. You might not see it in the mainstream media, but Friday was great news for those of us who believe in freedom. I believe it was the 11th Circuit Court halted Biden's unconstitutional mandate. But there's like 12 circuit courts, and I think in 11 of them, there's been decisions made. And, the liberal courts are for the government control, and the conservative courts with originalist judges that read the Constitution and don't make law, they just interpret the law. Those have voted on the side of freedom. But because they're tied up in so many courts and there's contradicting decisions, tomorrow, there's going to be a lottery, so to speak. They don't call it a lottery, but what happens is, okay, this is called an ETS, an emergency temporary standard from OSHA. And they have to say this is such grave danger, such immediate danger of death to so many workers that we're going to overstep our authority and put this in place. But they have to prove that this is such a grave danger, so because they haven't been able to prove it, and because different courts have made different decisions, tomorrow they literally put all the districts, the 12 districts, in like a barrel, spin it around, and then a judge just picks it out. Literally, it's like bingo. If you're Catholic, you know bingo is. So literally picks it out, and whichever district court it is, they get to hear it. So if it's a liberal court, they're going to go in the favor of government control. If it's a conservative court, they're going to go in the way of freedom. Either way, it's going to be challenged. And it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And we've seen in decisions like this, the Supreme Court has what they call a pocket to rocket decision-making process where they can make a decision in like 2 weeks. Normally, the court will hear a case, this time of year, and you won't get a decision till June, right before the court closes. But stuff like this, the court will make a decision quick. So big prayer concern, number one, pray that, it's just the luck of the draw, but let's pray God's hand is in there, and a conservative court, judges that actually look at the Constitution and love the Constitution will be the judges deciding this, not political appointees, these Democrat socialist hacks that interpret the law the way they want to see it, basically make law. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. But either way, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And, I'm thankful that Trump put in originalist judges. So I'm feeling pretty safe. If it goes to the Supreme Court, I'm pretty confident it's going to go our way. If you want to hear more about mandates, I can't talk about it on here because YouTube will pull me down because the liberal socialists that run this channel, they censor us. So I have more on this on my Blue Collar Catholic Rumble channel. But another big news, Senator Tom Cotton is making news by coming out saying publicly, and I don't know why this is news. I think every guy on the street knows this, but I'll say it. Senator Tom Cotton is saying these high gas prices are intentional so Biden could get Bernie Sanders and AOC's new green socialist deal into place. That's not surprising to me. I mean, for one, I've mentioned it several times on my videos before. Before Obama ran for president against John McCain, I had seen a 60-minute interview, an old 60-minute interview when I think he was still a state senator. He might have been a U.S. senator by then, but it was an older video. And he said he would not mind $8 a gallon gas like they have in Norway. He said, but just like, I want socialized medicine, but we got to take it step by step. Obamacare will be the first step. He didn't call it Obamacare then. He called it, whatever he called it, the Affordable Care Act. But we have to slowly wean Americans off of fossil fuels. So this has been the socialist plan in the Democrat Party for a long time. Just the Biden administration, just put it freaking fast forward it. And, what he didn't mention about Norway, gas prices being so high, is that everybody in Norway drives bicycles. And he thinks that's a good thing. Everybody but the politicians like him and the media elites that push his agenda are driving bicycles in Norway. 90% of the population, blue-collar guys like me, cannot afford a car. Not only because gas prices are $8 a gallon, but because Norway, this socialist wonderland that these professors try and convince our kids going to college, Norway has 100% tax on cars. Yeah. So if you buy a car in Norway that's 30 grand, you're going to pay 60 grand. So they purposely tax the people out because they wanted people not to drive vehicles. So everybody, again, except the hypocritical media elites, the actors, the rich, the politicians, are driving big SUVs, driving jet planes all around, just like the hypocrites in our country, like John Kerry flies a jet plane everywhere around, and he tells us we need to ride on a moped. So, and then you say, well, we're Christians, we should care about the environment. Well, the fact is, we were energy independent under Donald Trump. I remember paying $1.50 a gallon gas in Florida. Now I'm paying $3.50. And if you don't think that affects a blue-collar guy, you don't know what you're talking about. You may as well go on 2 months maternity leave like Buttigieg did, because you have no clue what's happening in America. So 100% gas on tax in Norway, and Norway's biggest revenue, the most revenue, comes from their oil reserves. They're one of the biggest importers. Norway's one of the biggest exporters of oil. They have a huge oil reserve. So they don't care about the environment. They care about control of their people. Now, America, if you really cared, if they really cared about the environment, this was about the environment. Under Donald Trump, 2 years in a row, his last 2 years of presidency, according to EPA records, we had the cleanest air and the cleanest water in the history of the United States. That is on record. And we were energy independent for the first time in history. We did not have to depend on OPEC and the Middle East. We didn't have to go to war anymore for oil. Donald Trump freed us from that. And the first thing that Biden did was cancel the oil leases, not only putting many blue-collar guys out of work, but also making us dependent on OPEC again. And he knew there were going to be high oil prices. But why would he want this? Because they want their Green New Deal. Just like Obama, when he wasted $900 billion. Just think about that. We were freaking out because he kept it under $1 trillion because he knew trillion just sounded ridiculous to us Americans. But he spent $900 billion on this so-called stimulus plan to get the economy going. And hundreds of billions went to all these electric companies, these solar panel companies, electric car companies. He subsidized all his friends, all his big donors. And most of them went bankrupt. Our money was wasted. $900 billion down the drain. That's why the Tea Party started. And ironically, one of the leaders, David Webb, happens to be an African-American man. And, of course, anything conservative, the media will say you're racist, misogynist, homophobic, whatever. And so they tried to do that with the Tea Party. And he has a radio show, and he had a CNN analyst on. And the CNN analyst told him, well, you don't understand because you have white privilege. Now, David Webb is a black man. And he said, excuse me, how do I have white privilege? And she said, for the fact that you're white, you have white privilege. That's how you were able to get this radio show. And he said, ma'am, you need to do your research because I'm a black man. I've been a black man my whole life. But the media stereotypes anything conservative. They're so used to just repeating the lies of the Democrat Party like parrots. They don't even do their own research anymore. All they are, the media, NBC, ABC, CBS, all these guys, especially CNN, they are just an extension, the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party. They have always been, but now it's even more so. Now that they're all, they weren't all always millionaires. A lot of them were working class guys working their way up, and they actually wanted to do journalism. Now they're all part of the elite of this country. They're all millionaires. All these faces you see on TV, they're all multimillionaires. They have no clue. They're so out of touch with reality, just like the Democrat Party. So, guys, don't get mad. Be hopeful, because America is still the greatest country in the world because the people have a say. And the last election in Virginia and New Jersey, the people had their say. And, You know, this is just a taste of things to come. In 2022, we are going to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate. But not with rhino Republicans. We're going to take it back with conservative Republicans that believe in the Catholic teaching of subsidiarity, limited government. Leave us the heck alone. We don't need your help. We don't need your handouts. We need guys like Trump who got rid of all these regulations. You want to solve the, I'll tell you right now, and Trump knows this, and a lot of conservatives know this. You want this supply chain problem? Very easily solved. Get rid of all these freaking regulations. When Obama came in, guys like me, I was making killer money, and then he made this regulation where we can only work 12 hours a day. You know, we make our money on overtime, or at the time, I believe it wasn't even the overtime. I was making commission, so the longer I stayed out, the more I could sell. So this guy, you know, these are all soft soil boys that take 2 months off if their men's husbands have a baby, you know, like Buttigieg. You know, working guys, we don't take time off. We work, we make money, you know. It's very simple, you know. St. Paul said, if a man don't work, he don't eat. This is the working man in America's creed. You don't want to work, you don't eat. We don't wait for the government to give us a handout. We're sick and tired of these people. They want to make us dependent. They want us to ride in bicycles and mopeds while they fly their jet planes and their limousines. No, we're going to go to the ballot box in a year and get rid of these people because they intentionally want to raise gas prices so they can do this great green energy project that, you know, if they really cared about it, think about it, if they really cared, if they cancel the pipeline, the XL pipeline, because they cared about the energy, about the environment, why would Biden approve the Russian pipeline? Because it's all about control, it's all about power, it's all about money and greed. I mean, just think about the greed of these politicians. The number one stock, if you survey, this has been proven, all the Congress and the Senate, the number one stock these guys buy is Pfizer. Think about that for a minute. How is even that legal that these guys can buy stock? That shouldn't even be legal. But their number one stock that all these congressmen and senators are buying is Pfizer. And I'm sure if they get this socialist New Green Deal passed, they'll be buying solar energy. They'll be investing in the Chinese solar energy companies because Biden's making it easier for China to supply us with solar panels than he is for American companies. So, like I said, you know, this channel was designed to defend the Catholic faith and the American way of life, and they go hand in hand. You know, we're supposed to care for people, and we have an administration that is hurting people. They are crippling, hardworking people. They want us all to be broke and dependent on them and to be thankful for some little $1,000 stimulus check. When under Trump, we were making $1,000 more a week because we were willing to work. So there you have it. But you know what? Out of all the social issues, the most important issue, the most important right we have is the right to life. And it's intentional. It's intentional right now that the black population is in decline. Population-wise, it's declining. Because the Democrat Party, the same party that started the KKK, supports the Planned Parenthood started by Margaret Sanger. And Margaret Sanger used the same word as Joe Biden did the other day and said she started Planned Parenthood to eliminate, to eradicate, to exterminate the Negro race in America. And right now in New York City, every year, more black babies are aborted than born. And that's intentional. And that's from your Democrat Party who pretends to be your friend. So if you are buying or selling real estate, please go to realestateforlife.org and tell them Blue Collar Catholic sent you. God bless and stay Catholic.